much better than they gave you credit for. It's not like they considered you bad. You weren't considered at all. Way before your time, a genius in disguise. It's not like they didn't recognize all you had done. You weren't recognized at all. A genius in disguise. There's no good reason to
I saw you give up the late nights. We were the sweet and the bitter. The kid who stays in the picture. Could have been you. You should have been you. Could have been you. Should have been you. You could have been you. You should have been you. You could have been you.
Welcome to the Mono A Mono Show here on CKMS 102.7 Mono A Mono. I've got a whole bunch of awesome stuff to get through. I wrote it right on. If you're watching on YouTube, which you can do both on the DJ Steele YouTube page and on the newly named CKMS 102.7 Radio Waterloo YouTube page. because we have now hit over 100 subscribers. I've got a couple discussion points. Last time I was on, I was talking that I wasn't sure whether setting your music, this came up in a Facebook feed, is it devaluing not only your music, but music as a whole by setting your music free on Bandcamp? I mentioned that a couple times throughout last show of Mono a Mono, and I couldn't monitor at that point the online chat, but it was going off. DJ Rob Waterloo was putting a whole bunch of stuff. He was going off on this thing. DJ Denim jumped in for a little bit, and so I'm gonna get to all that. I gotta look it up, and I'm gonna talk to that. Another one that came up is that people should only be releasing singles to build a following before they release a full album. Interesting thing. Interesting question there. And so we'll get to that too. Maybe we'll get some people's thoughts on that. I'm following the chat more closely. In the meantime, here's some Silver Sun pickups right here on Mono a Mono.
There's a vulture perching right off screen, and its pattern whispers chaotic things, and the weeks turn quick into bullying. It's so easy to see everyone can agree. Stop listening. I know you've heard it before, but then it wasn't enough. You don't want to be held back from the substitution. I know you've seen this before, and now enough is too much. You don't want to be set back when the substitution comes. I'm sorry. You're a marionette in the center of, and the twisting strings coming from above. It may seem too deep to recover from. It's so easy to see everyone can agree, just let it go. I know you've heard it before, but then it wasn't enough. You don't want to be held back from the substitution. I know you've seen this before, and now enough is too much. You don't want to be set back when the substitution comes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When the voices start spreading, just be aware. I'm plotting enough stones for us to share. That one's gritty, that one's burning for the throat. Let him choke on the stones that we have to throw. It's the great downfall. Nothing There's something about the thing that you just said. There's a dialogue for the dead that's in your head. I would like to believe so. Far away and long ago, you were soft and easy with your flow. Oh, mad kids these days. I heard you say don't know how to move slow.
Yes, Mono Amigos, that was our friends, the Sun Kings from Hamilton right there. Now, the Sun Kings are good friends of the Mono a Mono show and Robot Apocalypse. They were the ones who played with the Robot Apocalypse at their first ever show at the Boathouse in Waterloo. And some of the members from Sun Kings came up and collaborated on a Robot Apocalypse track during that first show. I'm mentioning this also because coming up this Thursday from just after noon till 4:30, just after 12 o'clock noon until 4:30 is the CKMS COVID Fest. And so a couple people have questioned the name and are wondering why we're celebrating this COVID pandemic. And I don't want to change the name because some people some bands that are performing and things like that are already promoting the show for their fans to check them out with their live performances. And we're not celebrating this pandemic. What we are doing is we are holding a virtual festival during this COVID pandemic. Very similar to the SARS Fest, although that one was held after they had a vaccine and SARS was under control. This one is a virtual online live music personal computer celebration of these artists, not the virus. Now, another thing I want to get to, so I would check that out anyways this Thursday at around noon. It may start shortly after. I was testing some of my connection in order for me to do it live to the radio and to YouTube and all these different places. I've had to kind of connect a couple computers here to try and make it work, and things weren't perfect this time, but by Thursday I will have had it figured out. I guarantee I have to, so it'll be working, and you can tune in Thursday. And if you always miss it, it will be podcasted live stream podcast on our CKMS 102.7 FM Radio Waterloo YouTube page. You can always check it out there. Now, another thing I want to get to before I get to a whole ton of great new music, as well as some more great Tal Rock before I jump into the new music, is last week on the show, there was a question posed by social media, and the Mono a Mono show was trying to get their thoughts on it. And it was different bands. Now, we just talked about the Sun Kings, how they played with Robot Apocalypse. All albums on the Mono a Mono Radio Bandcamp page that are created by an artist are set as free. Or I guess they're set as pay what you want, minimum is free. So you could pay nothing if you wanted to. Now, the question that was posed is, setting your music as free on Bandcamp, is that devaluing your music and music as a whole? Now, I posed this, and I said that Mono a Mono Radio had put theirs, Robot Apocalypse, Audio Boffins, All Weather Haulage, all up on that site, Cyanide Kiss, all up there free. Now, the chat was going crazy last time. I thought it was Rob Waterloo, but no, it's Bob Jonkman. I apologize. It was someone totally different who was writing this. And they had a whole bunch on this topic. So I'm bringing my mic over here so I can read some of this. So a couple of his thoughts here. It's worth pointing out that most artists who give people the freedom to enjoy their work see increased sales from merch, patronage, personal appearances, and commissioned work. Now, he has to that the exception are those artists that get the multi-million-dollar contracts with the top 5 recording. So Sorry, I'm watching the chat. It's throwing me off a little. The top, like the huge bands, the Nickelbacks, they're gonna want to see these record sales, and they're gonna want this money. He goes on and says, most artists see very little profits from music sales. And I would like to say, putting your music digitally, I feel like is a key thing now. It's still, a lot of people like getting vinyl, but vinyl, especially with COVID and everything like that, sales have come way down. And a lot of the time an artist is gonna take, especially an indie artist, is gonna take a hit on producing a vinyl. Vinyl are so expensive to produce these days. You're gonna put in, if you get, I would say a minimum of, usually the minimums are around 300 to 500. And so if you get that, it's gonna be about $3,000. So about $10 per album. And most indie artists might sell it for 15 or 20. And even if you sell all that, you're making a little bit of profit, but it is difficult to push, and there's a lot of work involved into pushing it and playing shows and things like that. So I think that digital is a way to go. And if you're putting it up on digital, Bandcamp I think is an awesome way. I like how they're doing this various days during this pandemic. They're letting the artists have all record sales, so people will promote their sites and you can go there and buy it, and the artist can get as much commission as possible. But he noted too that he's heard of big time artists who lose their rights to their own works because some small print in the contract. What's interesting is even big artists, big time artists who have done that. Yeah, the Smashing Pumpkins. Billy Corgan is re-releasing all those Smashing Pumpkins albums now because now he owns that music again. It has come up out of time, and so he's hoping that people purchase these new record sales. And I'm thinking that because it'll be indistinguishable whether they're playing Bullet with Butterfly Wings from the old album or the new album, he will get royalties from the newer, I guess SoCan or whatever it's called in the US, plays for that. But there have been, I think that he goes on and he talks about how some big artists are sometimes even dropped from their big record contract. And I don't 100% remember if this is the right artist, but I feel like Fifi Dobson was signed to one of these huge record labels, one of the top 5 as he mentioned, and as she was touring, it wasn't the sold out stadiums that they had anticipated, and she was dropped from the label. So they hold this power. Now, that's a little bit of a tangent away from setting your music as free on Bandcamp, but it is kind of that it's some of the bigger bands that are kind of seeing the revenues from that. So I don't know. I think that it's fine. I know that a lot of bands have it for some type of music, and I don't know. If people out there, if I've changed your mind with some of these comments that I've read, I still haven't got to all of them. I'm starting to run out of time in my post-rock song in the background, so I'll let other people. I see that some people are chatting. I'm going to read that in a minute, and I'm going to jump into a couple more tracks. I also have another interesting thing that came up in my social media that I want to pose out there. Maybe I'll pose it quick so people can think of it. There was an article that said that new bands should only release singles to build a following and release single after single after single instead of an album. Interesting. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Here is some Wax Mannequin, one of my favorite bands. Sun Kings was from Hamilton. Here's Wax Mannequin from Hamilton, right here. 102.7, Mano a Mano!
can safely be tested for nasty things that we don't want. Paper snake filled up with our ointment cures its hate and its disease. Paper snake, just relax and join us. Together we will make you bleed. Paper snake, how will we ever let you go and know that you won't talk about what we've done? Paper snake, how can we ever let you be and believe you to be much better than before? Paper snake crumples on the carpet, despite what all our tests have hoped. Paper snake buys beef and goes to market, then quickly starts to decompose. Paper snake, why did you ever catch our eye? You knew that we might die for a chance to reign. Paper snake, how can we ever just forget and know that you forgive us for what we've done? Paper snake, a peaceful finger reaches forth and gently greets your shrinking skin. And though your pain is great, though your heart strains with the blood, you know that love has come for now, forever, for now, forever, for now, forever, for now, forever, forever. Paper snake, how will we ever let you go and know that you won't talk about what we've done? Paper snake, how can we ever set you free and believe you to be much better than before? Paper snake, why did you ever catch our eye? You knew that we might die for a chance to reign. A paper snake, how can we ever just forget and know that you forgive us for what we've done? Paper snake, how can we ever let you go and know that you won't talk about what we've done? Paper snake, how can we ever let you be and believe you to be better than before? Paper snake, how can we ever catch our eye and know that we might die for a chance to reign? Paper snake, how can we ever just forget and know that you forgive us for what we've done?
All right, Mono Amigos, there was my Hamilton set right there on CKMS 102.7 Radio Waterloo. What you heard was some... I'm definitely off. I'm pretty sure I'm off the Facebook now. The second to last band, you just heard some Audio Boffins. They're going to be playing a brand new track. What I've heard, now this is rumors. This is just rumors. I don't know if it's true. Is that Audio Boffins, although they just released both of their a second album, and they included on the tape their first album. So they released a tape cassette through 3/9 tapes, and it has Audio Boffins 1 and Audio Boffins 2 on it. They may be releasing during COVID Fest an Audio Boffins 3. And the only reason why I know is because they're going to be releasing it through the Mono A Mono Radio Bandcamp page free during the COVID Fest. I think this is just a rumor. I've heard this. I don't know for sure. So if it doesn't happen, I don't want to disappoint people. We're hearing some Audio Boffins in the background. The reason why I said we might be off the Facebook now is because before that I played some Marble Index. Marble Index are one of these bands where the question was, should bands now, new bands, only release singles in order to build a following before they release a full album? Now, the band before that was the Marble Index. They had a huge single. They had a huge single in a song called I Believe. And I Believe went so big that they ended up shaping their albums. Now, that song that you heard was not I Believe. That was We Can Make It. And that one, I believe, is in I Believe. That was unintended. Anyways, that one, We Can Make It, was in a movie. So every time I play it, it immediately kicks me off Facebook. And sometimes I have copyright issues in my YouTube broadcast, so I may have to take that one out. Before that, we heard Wax Mannequin. All three of these bands have a Hamilton tie where when they started, they were from Hamilton. I think Wax Mannequin now is in a suburb called Ancaster. The Marble Index, who knows? I don't even think they're a band anymore. And Audio Boffins is local now to the KW area. So, along this lines of only releasing singles, an interesting... So I Googled pop singer with spiky hair, and the guy that I was thinking about came up on the Google search. I couldn't think of his name. His name is Mark McGrath. He is the lead singer of a band called Sugar Ray. Their first album is way heavier than what you would think Sugar Ray sounds like. But on that album, it had one soft song, and the record industry and the record labels picked up and loved that song and really pushed them, provided that they changed and played all their music in this softer way. And that's what Sugar Ray did. They made tons of money off doing that. So there is maybe something to doing that. Another Canadian band that did some type of thing like that is, if you go back and listen to Finger 11. I loved Finger 11. I saw Finger 11. They're from Burlington, and I saw them in the Hamilton area a whole bunch of times growing up. And they were super heavy, hard, very dark rock. And those guys ended up putting out an album, and they had a song called One Thing. And it was soft and very nice and beautiful. And then they made so much money off that, and it was in so many movies and different things like that, that they almost changed, and that became their new style. Now, it could be having to do with bands getting older and things like that, and they're not as angsty as when they started, which could also be an influence. I'm not sure, but interesting that some of these bands notice the trend and will change based upon what sells. And I think that's the idea behind this only releasing singles. Now, we're going to be jumping into here some brand new music, brand new music that just came into the station. And here is another one for just releasing singles. Some of these bands submitted full albums, and I get so many emails. I just kind of go through, give a quick listen. I like it, I download it. Sometimes when I download it, it is the full album. So I might not be picking the greatest song. I don't read maybe all DJs read through all the one sheet and everything like that. I just download it and then jump right into it and kind of go through. I used to pay a little bit more attention when I did the feature band of the week with DJ Adrock, and we would go back and forth so that it would be every other week we'd just be planning one. But right now, so I can get to as many new artists as possible, I'm just loading it in and then choosing one. Now I end up finding ones that are more interesting that I end up liking, and sometimes I don't necessarily like the single as much. I don't know. I'm going to have some arguments against just releasing singles after we hear a whole bunch of these great new tracks. Here it is. I know I was trying to talk fast because it was only a 5-minute song there. Here is some brand new stuff. This is a band called Little Kid, and the track is called I Thought That You'd Been Raptured. Radio edit. Right here on CKMS 102.7, Radio Waterloo.
Provided for my children, more the knuckles of my fingers raw. And I don't go in for drinking, carry on with other women. I ain't smoked since he got pregnant, babe. So how could I be made a sinner, left down here among the living? Washed and in prison, the ones who didn't said they didn't. Well, you're in heaven with the risen Lord. Someone dragged a needle across the record that was reeling on, playing muffled through that speaker, wearing an unfamiliar t-shirt, and an empty pair of jeans were thrown. Wondering if you could be the sinner, left down here among the living. All the unrepentant millions who admit that they've committed something that cannot be forgiven for. And your chemist on in leggings made a path towards the bedroom that had fallen like a breadcrumb trail. And on the wall there was a dead man nailed above the creaking headboard. As I watch his limbs were spreading out, and he looked down on the bed there, at the tangle of the flesh there, where your souls were intermeshing, as if you'd been brought to heaven with your
bit, but I'll put up with it 'cause it's okay. I'm taking every bit, but you won't give a shit, and that's okay. Used to smile when you'd walk through the door, but now you don't come by anymore. When it's my time, you disappear. We're never alone, you're always out with your friends. Guess I'm not really one of them. Tell me, what are we doing here? What do you want from me? I know what to do. One night you hold me tight, the next to just stay right. What do you want from me? I know what to do. What are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing? Take you by the hips, you loosen up my grip and walk away. You say you have no time, so me another line, guess that's okay. You know I die for you every night. There's no battle I wouldn't fight. But tell me, babe, would you do the same? Feels like we got ourselves in a mess. It don't seem like you could care less. Tell me, what are we doing here? What do you want from me? I know what to do. One night you hold me tight, the next to just stay right. What do you want from me? I know what to do. What are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing? Scared to touch you, scared to feel you, scared to hold you in my arms, scared to love you, scared to lose you, scared to know I got it wrong from the start. What do you want from me? I know what to do. One night you hold me tight, the next to just stay right. What do you want from me? I know what to do. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Can I do? What are we doing? And it is too much to do. What are we doing here? For my life for sure. What are we doing? What are we doing here?
This house, it keeps me warm, gives me protection. These walls, they are the arms that wrap around this home. And we will rise again. The strength to be alone, this isolation. Reach out, I am still here inside the boundary lines, and we will rise again. One day this world will mend, although everything around me has changed. this world, it has its flaws. We'll make it better. And we will rise again. One day we all will mend. Although everything around me has changed, we'll do it all again to keep us safe. We'll do it all again in spite of the pain, to keep us safe. We will rise again. One day we'll rise again. However long it takes, we will wait.
Once upon a time, you were one of mine, fresh upon my heart, but evil from the start. You gave your word to me, so calm and so simply, forgot from your disguise, the devil has blue eyes. Been doing this as long as we exist. They're all afraid of you because what you can do. You think you wear the crown, the master of this town. I've watched your every move and every path you choose. 1, 2, what do we do? 3, 4, I can't take any more. And 5, 6, your evil tricks. 7, 8, it's you that I heard. And when do we get to be free from all your rules and look down on me as if you are the most. But I'm gonna rain down on you like the Holy Ghost. I see you when you hide, can hear you when you ride. Your secret safe with me for everyone to see. 1, 2, what do we do? 3, 4, I can't take any more. And 5, 6, your evil tricks. 7, 8, it's you that I hate. And when do we get to be free from all your rules and the chaos? And I want you to see while you're on your knees. You can't have me. You have no heart at all. You have no heart at all. You have no heart at all.
All right, Mono Amigos, there you have some Devil Doll and a whole bunch of other brand new stuff. I just went on the system, downloaded a whole bunch more brand new stuff, and we're hearing it here. Some of it isn't even released yet. You're hearing it here on the Mono A Mono Show. Shout out quick to COVID Fest coming up this Thursday. I think it will be awesome. Lots of bands performing from their self-isolation, even though the restrictions are being lifted, or I guess have been lifted a little bit more this past Friday. Not so much for bands. So this is a way that bands can perform. I know some bands are doing some kind of like porch concerts and things like that, which is very cool also. We had 2 discussion items tonight. I was kind of following up. I didn't see the chat from last time. I've just got the chat kind of working. So now I can monitor the different ones, which is kind of cool. Last time we were talking about setting your music free on Bandcamp. In the background, as I'm talking right now, you're hearing a band called Pretend. And I got a notification that this band opened this album up free. I had not heard of them. I downloaded it because it was the genre that I like, which is towel rock is a wide genre, but one of the other subgenres within towel rock that I really am interested in is post rock and math rock and kind of experimental rock. So, and this fit right in there. Notably, it was mentioned in the post or whatever that they were opening it up as free. So I thought, okay, I'll try this band out. Downloaded it. Unbelievable. I love this stuff now. So I don't know. That's another plus to opening it up free is maybe sometimes people who haven't checked it out will check out the music, and with it being no cost, they might just check it out and love it. Now, the other discussion point was releasing singles to build a following. We talked about a bunch of pros to just releasing singles. I like an album experience. Now, I might be biased in what I'm saying now, but I like the album. I do a segment called Concept Album where we sit and we listen to an entire great album because I love getting into the space of what went into recording that album. Now, on that program, I do play solid albums from start to finish. But even still, if I hear an indie band that I think has an awesome song, they submitted in and it has an awesome song, I immediately want to hear more. And so I go and I start looking in and trying to find more by that band. If they're only releasing singles, there will only be one or two other things, and it will be hard for me to consume more of their stuff. So I am very pro full album because a lot of the time too, I don't know why this is. Maybe it's just from being on the radio and wanting to hear new things. I, a lot of the time, like alternative songs other than the single. So when a band sends in a full album, I do try and play the single, but again, I'm going through so many that I kind of grab some and listen to it, and if I like the sound, I import the whole thing, and then I play different songs from different albums so I can listen to the whole thing. As on the chat right now, I was chatting. We've got One-Eyed Oracle in the chat here. Yeah, my library is huge. I think that my new release, I was just looking at my new release folder, is up at about 400 tracks. So, and some of those are by the same band. It might be 10 tracks all by one band, and some of them are singles, some of them are not. So, anyways, I still like an album experience. One of the things that I'm trying to do with All Weather Haulage right now is, as I record songs, I put them up kind of like singles on the Bandcamp, release it free, and then by the end, it will be an entire album of analog synth tracks. I don't know. Marketing, I'm not marketing it well. I'm just doing it more for myself to put it up there. I haven't even played it on my own radio program, but I am going to attempt to perform 3 of those tracks on COVID Fest coming up this Thursday from noon till 4. If you're working during the day, noon till 4 was the only time that there were no DJs on air and I could get a huge chunk of CKMS time to air this huge concert. It is going to be live streamed to YouTube, and just in case anything happens, I'm going to be recording it also, so it will be made available after the fact, especially since ISOFest did so well. It has tons of views on the YouTube page there. Those are the main discussion things. If you have any ideas about, does it devalue music, your music or music in general, by putting music as free on Bandcamp? Just because I do it, and if you have a differing opinion, you're not going to hurt my feelings. So you can say that you think that that's ridiculous. It will not hurt my feelings. Also, the other idea was only releasing singles to build a following. Again, I disagree with that. I like a full album, but I do see that there are some pros to marketing with singles. Anyways, if you have thoughts on it, let me know. I'm going to jump into some more. I'm going to listen to the rest of this Pretend track. You can also see if you like that. It may still be free if you want to go and download it on Bandcamp. This is from their album. I believe it's called, it doesn't show up on the track, but I believe it's something like Bones in the Soil, Rust in the Oil. Something like that. Then we're getting into a whole bunch more new stuff, as well as some older but still new, past like month or two new stuff coming up right here on Mano a Mano. Got about 40 minutes left. Stick around. Right here on CKMS 102.7 Radio Waterloo.
shadows of the morning mist, where a hero's resting place exists. Those waiting feel pain and scorn, all from an unwanted knock at the door. Well, drop to your knees, but don't cry for me. A folded flag was meant to be, and as the bugle plays his song, well, they're not forgotten even though they're gone. Oh, 21 guns and a million tales, all heard and shared right here. The sound of loss, the pain that costs all freedom's never free and clear. Bagpipes blow in the distance, get ready to see and hear. 21 guns and a million tales. There's an oath every defender takes, a dedication for freedom's sake. Oh, they'd rather die in an unmarked grave so we can live in the home of the free and brave. 21 guns and a million tales, all heard and shared right here. Sound of loss, the pain that costs all freedom's never free and clear. Bagpipes blow in the distance, get ready to see and hear. 21 guns and a million tales. They're giving life and limb, some minds are hard to live in. Oh, how could we ever turn our backs on them? 21 guns and a million tales, all heard and shared right here. Sound of loss, the pain that costs all freedom's never free and clear. Will there ever come a day when we don't see or hear? 21 guns and a million tales. 21 guns and a million tales. 21 guns and a million tales. 21 guns and a million tales.
So jaded, you get caught in the night. Tell me, baby, what the heck was in your mind? Someone's gonna get me, someone's gonna hate me now. Someone's gonna get me, someone's gonna hate me. You're so pretty, that somebody can be mine. We cheated on him. What the heck was in our mind?
band name isn't showing up on that track, but I remember downloading it. Some Japanese electronic post shoegaze. That got me right there. That description. Here's some Willy Nilly right here on CKMS.
So wish me well and send me off until the hardest work's done. There's not a finger in this room that different you are now. Hold on a second, I can't wrap my head around this and tell you, baby, it don't matter, you know. Ignorance is bliss and you know. Stop the war instead of digging us in the fights that we could not remember and could never win. But we bought a gun last week with every penny we had scratched and saved, and they stopped telling us that we'd be paid in full if we behave. And we behave. Don't you look away, you know we're in the same lane. No stake in the game till you're burning to the ground. I don't know a thing, but I am learning every day. Get no airplane that says you can't really misbehave. I'm shutting up 'cause I'm so tired of screaming at you what I need. I swear I'll take the head before I worry about the hand that feeds. Stay out of this, we're on some matters that are well beyond your days. But if you go around screaming at you, throw up back your rage. What's my age? Don't you look away, you know we're in the same lane. No stake in the game till you're burning to the ground. I don't know a thing, but I am burning every day. Get no airplane that says you can't be misbehaved.
They say you don't know when you have it, but when you lose it all. Maybe I'm thinking all the wrong things lately. My mind's back and forth between the thoughts that plague me or my fault in the storm. You could take the stars from my eyes. You could do no wrong in my mind. You could have me all if you tried, but you let me carry on. You could have it your way if you wanted to. Manipulate the way that I move. If all of my friends only knew that they could have it all, that they could have it. They could have it. You say my attention is divided. Focusing could be relieving if I tried it, but it brings me, it brings me, it brings me, it brings me down. Maybe I've been searching for a problem, but you're making it harder and harder and harder to spot one. To spot one. You could take the stars from my eyes. You could do no wrong in my mind. You could have me all if you tried, but you let me carry on. You could have it your way if you wanted to. Manipulate the way that I move. If all of my friends only knew that they could have it all, everything I say. And all I tend to do, I hide from my convoluted mind. From the moment that I pick up the brush, the paint is on the floor, the writing on the wall suggests I analyze my own flaws. I don't need another broken heart. I just need to commit all you are to memory. And my heart breaks at the rattle of your voice. In this moment I regret every stupid little choice that got us to this now. I wish I could change how this is memory. You don't want another critic. You need someone to cushion some of those blows. But when it really comes down to it, the truth is I don't always know how to comfort, how to make it clear. I messed the paint on the floor, how to pull you closer and get the writing off the wall. Circumstances all we have. I need to quench my fear and leave the past to memory. And my heart breaks at the rattle of your voice. In this moment I regret every stupid little choice. And my heart breaks at the rattle of your voice. In this moment I regret every stupid little choice that got us to this now. I wish I could change how this is memory.
Trapped inside. You see, I run
That's right, Mono Amigos. I thank you, please, for tuning in to the Mono a Mono show here right on CKMS 102.7 Radio Waterloo. We went through a whole bunch of stuff right there. You just heard some Big Milk. Actually, that whole set, I don't have the whole set in front of me. We heard some One-Eyed Oracle in there. And I think some Bad Guys Win. To be honest, during that set, I start to follow what DJ Dr. Tickle from Klosterfuken has been saying, and some of these insects and bugs and animals and things like that, to don't be so harsh to them and maybe let them live. But as I'm doing a radio show and a spider comes down on me, that just started a war within this room. And that was the fastest spider ever. Now, the spider got away, so maybe that's why I'm thinking I'm letting it live. But the good thing about it was, once it came near me, it was very afraid of me. So I'm confident that it will stay behind the speakers, but I'm still a little bit wary. Anyways, thanks for tuning in to the Mono a Mono show every Sunday night from 8 till 10 right here on CKMS. We hope to hear you or see you hearing these great bands. We hope to hear you. Some of the listeners were in bands, and we hope to hear them again next week, hearing us hear them. As we go through this great new release stuff, again, this Thursday, COVID Fest, I think it's going to be awesome. I was writing on there some of the stuff coming up, possibly a new album release, bunch of band performances, bunch of single performances, little videos put together by bands, DJ sets, some crazy electronic, I don't know if you guys know Pick a Piper, but Brad Weber from Pick a Piper is going to play a one-man set. Unbelievable stuff that he does. You should definitely even just tune in for that. Pick a Piper plays some phenomenal stuff. And ex-Waterloo people. I think he lives in Toronto now, but originally from Waterloo. Anyways, a whole bunch of great stuff. I'm going to go out on a couple here, and for the YouTube people, I'll probably play one or two extra. I've got about, I would say another song's worth on the radio, and then another song or two after that. Thanks for tuning in, and hope to catch you around. If you have any ideas on the releasing music free on Bandcamp or on releasing singles instead of an album, I'd love to hear your ideas. As a fellow musician releasing some stuff too, I'm interested in what people think on all these ideas as well. All right, coming up next, we got Discoteca. Stick around right here on CKMS 102.7 Radio Waterloo.
flamme qui brûle loin